We are happy to have you this evening. My name is Charity Nyonchuti, and I will be our Sergeant at Arms this evening. I hope you're able to hear me.
Yes, we hear you, Charity.
Okay. So you're most welcome to Kampala Executive Toastmasters Club meeting number 4. We are really excited to have you with our exciting theme, which is building muscle. I also can't wait to hear what it's all about. Before we start our meeting, we have a few rules that we have to adhere to. Allow me share them with you. I need to share a screen. You let me know if you're able to see the screen.
Not yet.
Okay. Are you able to see the screen now?
It's coming up.
It is loading.
Okay. All right. You can see it now?
Yes.
Very well.
Okay. All right. These are our rules, and one of them, I kindly request you to mute if you're not speaking. We need to have order in our meeting. Rule number 2, kindly rename on the participants list. You put your name, the role you're doing this evening, and if you're a guest and you belong to a certain club, kindly indicate the name of your club. We would want to know you, your name, and where you're coming from. I request that we put on our video if we are able to, and for the speakers, can also leave your video on for better evaluation. And I encourage you to use the Zoom chat for any suggestion or comment. And I encourage you to participate when a question is asked. You can use the reactions to put your arm up, to clap hands, to keep the meeting engaged and lively. Yes, kindly make sure we are able to hear you clearly. And this is our club mission. I wouldn't leave before reminding you about it, or for our guests, our first-time guests, to let you know about it. We all have our missions individually, but this is our collective mission as our club. You don't need to unmute to read it. I'll read for you. We provide a supportive and a positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. It is our main mission here to learn from one another, to be empowered, and to grow as a person and individuals. This is our committee. You can reach to any one of us here in case of any inquiry or anything you want to follow up on. And at this moment, I'll invite our president to give few remarks and invite our Toastmaster of that day. I hope you have a great time and a fruitful 2 hours. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sergeant at Arms Charity. Good evening, members and guests. You're all very welcome to Kampala Executives Toastmasters Club. What a privilege. On a Friday evening, when others choose to go elsewhere, you choose to come. We are very honored to have you here. This evening, like the SAA has said, it will be great. We have a number of
Elizabeth, we're getting an echo from you. I don't know if it's from you or another person. Okay.
Okay, Geoffrey, you may want to mute so that we are able to hear one another during the meeting. So before I call our Toastmaster of the evening, I see we've been joined by great people. We have leaders in the house, we have guests, I assume, and I request a few leaders to come and greet us. I recognize the presence of our area director, Timothy Kavuma. Kindly say hello in less than a minute.
Thank you very much, Madam President. It's my singular privilege to be tuning in here at Kampala Executive Toastmasters Club. I'm looking forward to an exciting meeting and all the best to the speakers, guests, feel welcome, and role takers, all the best trying out your show in the roles that you play tonight. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Director Timothy. Guests here, please know that you're in safe hands. Our leaders are supportive and they will calm you. We have our, this is not a guest, but I can say a family member from another country, Dan Odero. Dan, would you like to say hi?
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, Kampala. Greetings from Nairobi, Kenya, where we are having a long holiday and also remembering our third president who passed away. So we're having a but also a long holiday until Tuesday. I'm happy to be in Kampala. Always a pleasure to be at Kampala Executives. Thank you. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dan. We are privileged to have you this evening. On the call, I see Juliet Oyela. I am not certain if you're a guest or a visiting Toastmaster. Please feel free to unmute and say hello in less than a minute.
Hello, good evening. Yes, I'm visiting from Kampala Sunrise Toastmasters Club, and I'm happy to be here.
Very welcome. Kampala Toastmasters, Kampala Sunrise and Kampala Executives have a pact, so you are home. A warm welcome. And in a special way, I'd like to introduce our member, Toastmaster Juliet Wanjiru. Today is her first meeting as a Toastmaster. Juliet, would you like to greet us and say hi?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. This is my first meeting. I'm happy to be here. I'm also taking a role, the timer. I'm a bit nervous, but I know I'll do it. I'm confident and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Yes, we know you will do it and we are confident and so proud of you. Thank you for making one of the best decisions this year, Juliet. Our other guests and leaders in the house, we recognize you, President Baldwin, President Shamim, our Toastmaster Frank, Kavuma, Geoffrey, Ayebare, you're all very welcome. At this moment, I would like to introduce to us the Toastmaster of the evening. So if you've all heard about the good things at Kampala Executives, there is someone who's behind all that you hear. And that is none other than Toastmaster Brenda Asiimwe, who is also our Toastmaster of the day this evening. Toastmaster Brenda, over to you to take us through the next exciting steps of our meeting.
Thank you so much, Madam President. And let me just have a second to relish in that praiseworthy introduction that you just gave me. But it gives me the utmost pleasure and I feel privileged to be the Toastmaster of the evening and to be able to lead us through this 39th meeting of Kampala Executives Toastmasters Club. And as Charity, our Sergeant at Arms, was reading what Kampala Executives Toastmasters has to offer its clubs, I picked out one word about empowerment. And to me, that means that we all show up in this space. And to say it literally, we show up as we are with open minds and open hearts, willing to learn from each other, have a good time, and hopefully live different than we came. So that's the mindset I'm bringing into this meeting tonight, and I hope you can adopt the same. So as you may have noted on the program, the theme for this meeting is building muscle. And before I go into explaining it, I'm just curious about anyone whose plans this year or goals this year was to work on their physique by going to the gym. Anyone in the room? Let me just hear a shout out. I see you, Elizabeth. Any other person who, Geoffrey too. Any other person whose goals are, Shamim. Yay, more people going to the gym. Interesting. The theme of today, building muscle, while it is associated with gyms, and that's what I'm going to talk about, but I want to use building muscle in a figurative way. And as I was coming up with this theme, I was reminded of, there's a meeting we had in 2018. It was chaired by distinguished Toastmaster Connie Shemerire. Most of you may know about her. And she was doing an educational. At the time, I was a Toastmaster, but still letting the fear of public speaking it still had a grip on me. And she said something that day that was so profound that today I still remember it. She said that if you intend to, for any body goals you might have, going to the gym, you're supposed to build muscle or maybe lose weight or whatever takes you to the gym. But if you go to the gym and just stand and watch other people work out, or just sit on a bike and not move your body, then you definitely will not build the muscle. You definitely will not tone your body, or you will not reduce your weight, depending on whatever took you to the gym. So meaning that in order to build muscle, you have to actually do the work. So if you go to the gym, you have to do the work. And I wanted to use that in reference to our everyday activities, ambitions, goals, and things like that. Our muscle, the muscle we're trying to build in this case, is the habits we're trying to build to get us to whatever we want to achieve. So I want you to think about that. I've spoken to a couple of the role takers and asked them the kind of muscle they're trying to build this year. But for those who I may not have talked to, think about the same. And sometime down the meeting, I'm going to ask you about this question. I'm going to ask you about the kind of muscle you're trying to build and what you're trying to achieve. And by muscle, I mean habit. So with that said, I am not going to be chairing this meeting by myself. I have a couple of role takers who are going to be supporting me. And to start us off is Timothy Kavuma. Timothy Kavuma is going to serve as a grammarian. And when I asked Timothy the kind of muscle he's trying to build, Timothy said he's trying to build the muscle of being an avid listener. And to this, he said that when he's talking to people, he tries as much as possible to avoid distractions like multitasking. So he will give you the ultimate attention that you need. And by practicing this, avoiding multitasking, he's building that muscle to eventually become an avid listener. Timothy, kindly tell us what your role is about.
Thank you very much, Timothy. I will kindly request to be given co-host rights so that I can share the word of the day as I introduce the role. Good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role tonight as a grammarian is to pay attention, to also help me as an individual to grow the muscle in terms of being an avid listener. I will pay attention to every speaker, listen to the words that the speakers will use. In that, I will take note of the good phrases, good choice of words that every speaker will come up with, which I will come back and share towards the end of the meeting. I will also mention a few areas that I will not, which might require to be worked upon. Since tonight, we are not at a meeting, we are at a gym where every one of us is working towards achieving or building a certain muscle. My second role requires me to introduce the word of the day, which I am doing right now. The word of the day tonight is exuberant. Let me share my screen. Exuberant. It is, the pronunciation is I-G, not X-E-X. So you pronounce it as exuberant. This word means full of energy, excitement, and cheerfulness. An example, a noisy bunch of exuberant youngsters. Another example would be a group of exuberant Toastmasters at Kampala Executives Toastmasters meeting tonight. I will take note the number of times this word will be used tonight, and I will read out the names of the speakers that will have used it together with the number of times they will use it tonight in my report. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you, grammarian of the evening. And now join me in welcoming our next role taker, who is none other than the exuberant timer, Juliet Clara. Juliet, kindly unmute and tell us about your role.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I'll be keeping track of your time. As a speaker, it is very vital for you to hold your audience's interest. That is why in Toastmasters, we limit time for each speaker and also have a timer to remind them of that time limit. I'm the timer today, and here's how I'm going to remind you of time. I will time for the table topics, the speaker formal speeches, and evaluations. I'm going to share my screen. For table topics, the speakers should limit their remarks to not more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card, which is on your screen. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. For those giving speeches, they should limit their remarks to 4 to 6 minutes. At 4 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. And at 6 minutes, I will raise the red card. For the individual evaluations, they should be 2 to 3 minutes. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. most other speeches, they should be 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. I look forward to your cooperation in keeping time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Juliet. And then our next role taker, who is also our president, Elizabeth, is also our table topics master. Elizabeth, kindly unmute and tell us about your role.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening. I feel exuberant this evening to wear many hats. Introducing table topics, this is a session where each one of us present here has an opportunity to practice impromptu speaking. It helps us to think on our feet as we build our speaking muscle. I've prepared a few questions, and when the time comes, I may randomly call upon any of you to respond in just 1 to 2 minutes. All members are encouraged to volunteer and speak during the table topic session. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, table topics mistress. And before I invite the next role taker, the muscle that Elizabeth is trying to build is the muscle and energy to maintain the current weight that she has. And she said that the habit she's trying to hone is trying to eat healthy, exercising. She's actually going to the gym. She, however, adds keyword that it's not easy. But then, as we all know, all good things don't come easy, but we endeavor to do them anyways. Thank you, Elizabeth. And when I'm introducing Juliet at a later stage, I'm going to tell you what she shared about the muscle she's trying to build this year. And now, on to our general evaluator, Danielle. I'm curious about the muscle you're trying to build this year. So tell us about that, and also tell us what your role entails.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. This is truly a gym, as Timothy has said, and we are building muscles. The muscles I'm working on building this year is the muscle of intentionality in all I do. So when I walk into a room or walk in some, I'm intentional about what I'm going to do. Toastmasters, I'm intentional about growing my public speaking and leadership skills, and also building camaraderie with friends who I meet at each meeting. My role today as a general evaluator is to take note of all that happens in the meeting right from the beginning, give some feedback, applaud what has been done well, give some suggestions what can be done better, for the purposes of always working on improvement as we do in Toastmasters. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator. And now allow me to usher us into the meat of this meeting. And in the next few minutes, we're going to listen to two indomitable speakers, Geoffrey and Frank Kavuma. We'll start the speeches with Geoffrey, and Geoffrey is going to be evaluated by, just a second. Geoffrey is going to be evaluated by Shamim Nirere. And when I asked Shamim the muscle she's trying to build this year, she says that she's trying to build the muscle of managing her money. And by that, she's trying to be debt-free and be a better steward of money. The habit she's trying to implement is to ensure that she records all the expenses that she makes and ensuring that she creates more income streams. Shamim, kindly tell us what you expect from the speaker you're going to evaluate.
Thank you so much. I was breaking my fast. Okay, so today I'm so honored to be at Kampala Executives, but before I go ahead, I would like to make welcome our speaker, his presentation mastery pathway, which is the same pathway like myself. So yeah, we are taking over. Geoffrey is attempting his level 1, project number 4, which requires him to research a topic and present a speech with a well-researched topic. Today, Geoffrey, I'll be observing your speech to look out for the evidence of preparation. I'll listen attentively to see whether you fulfill the project objectives. And apart from that, I'll also be looking at your level of comfort, your audience awareness, and other tips of a good Toastmaster. So Geoffrey's speech will be about knowing your tax obligation. Geoffrey's speech will be between 5 to 7 minutes, so be aware of that, Geoffrey. Know your tax obligation, Geoffrey Ayebare. Geoffrey Ayebare, know your tax obligation. Over to you, Geoffrey.
Good evening, Toastmasters and friends.
Doctor, looks like you have more than one gadget in the same room. You may want to switch off one.
Good evening, Toastmasters and friends. For a period of 5 years, starting in 2006, I underwent a series of career changes, starting as a teacher of mathematics, then as an accountant in corporate Kenya, then into my entrepreneurial journey as a baker, then as a public accountant, and finally as a tax professional. It was during the time when I was an accountant. At the time, there were a number of changes that were happening in our tax system here in Uganda. And for that matter, a number of distresses on taxpayers arose. And 2 of them came right into my office. In one, a big commercial building in Mbarara, southwest of Uganda, was hit with a notice of distress. A commercial building housing businesses, including an ATM and some residential units. The distress involved closing the building so no one can access. The other one was a notice of assessment in the tune of billions of shillings. It was at this time that I realized that I've got to build a muscle. I've got to build my muscles in this area of taxation. When these distress notices came to our notice, my boss then, Timothy, called me up and said, Geoffrey, you are the numbers guy here. You've got to sort these matters out. I was quite frightened. It was something that I had never tackled in terms of volume, in terms of size. But all the same, I said, then this is the time to build the muscle. After a long and tedious process of trying to sort these distresses, I came out as a tax professional. From that time, every time I would meet business people, I would see mental hospital candidates, or at worst, prisoners in waiting. And today, many years later, I still see the same candidates of mental hospital and even prison. This, therefore, has always compelled me to inform the people that I come across about their tax obligations. Because this is going to reduce, it will reduce their levels of stress, and it will improve their well-being. For that matter today, I will not hesitate to inform my fellow Toastmasters about their tax obligations. What I'm going to do today, I will bring to your notice a little bit about the taxes that you and I are likely to be liable to. First and foremost, we need to know that as citizens, we have a tax obligation. And these taxes are levied by the parliament of the country. Therefore, we are duty bound to oblige. Which are these taxes? First and foremost, the most important one is the income tax. All businesses which make a profit are supposed to pay income tax. Then the second one that I'm going to talk about, that I am very sure many of us fall into, is the pay as you earn. This is a tax of individuals that is deducted by their employers. Then we have value-added tax, whereby a business becomes a tax collector on behalf of the tax authority. Then we have excise duty. Then there is, this excise duty is levied on goods and products that are produced within the country. Then, of course, we also have export levy and import duty. From my knowledge and observation, I know that once a person knows the names, just the names of the taxes that they are supposed to work on, they have a higher chance of being compliant. So fellow Toastmasters and friends, with this knowledge that I've equipped you of basically knowing the names of the taxes. I am aware that you are now able to decide on becoming more tax compliant, and therefore your levels of stress in your businesses are going to go down. Thank you very much, fellow Toastmasters and friends.
Thank you, Toastmaster Geoffrey. Let me see you clap for him with the emoji on the screen. Thank you so much, Geoffrey. One thing I like about Toastmasters is the diversity of professionals that are members in this organization. It's that you're going to come to a meeting and you literally don't know what you're going to hear about and how it could impact you. So we have Geoffrey here, a taxation expert. And I also think if there's someone who could probably have expert advice on career pivoting, it's you, Geoffrey. Someone who came from being a teacher to an accountant to now a taxation expert. When it comes to building muscle to pivot, I think you're the guy who we all need to come to, especially if we're looking to change careers from something that we're doing to something completely different. Thank you so much, Geoffrey, and thank you so much for educating us about taxes. And now our next speaker is Frank Kavuma. Frank Kavuma is going to be evaluated by Baldwin Okello. And when I asked Baldwin, the muscle he's trying to build is the muscle of focusing. And he says that he tends to get distracted by so much noise, like especially social media. I know most of us are likely guilty of that. I'm guilty of that. So the muscle he's building, or the habit that he's building to be able to avoid this habit, to avoid the distraction of social media, is to apportion work tasks, break down work tasks into 30 minutes. And in those 30 minutes, he ensures that his phone is on airplane mode so that he's not disturbed by the buzzing sounds of messages coming in. And with that muscle being built, he's been able to accomplish so much of the different tasks that he sets out to do. Baldwin, kindly tell us what we can expect from Frank's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Brenda. Frank today will be attempting his first project, Project 1, Level 2, under the innovative planning path. What are my expectations for Frank today? The purpose for Frank's speech or project is for Frank to learn about different communication styles, identify his own style or his primary style. Once he has done this, I expect Frank to share with us the impact of this style, this communication style on others. How has his communication style been impactful, not just on him, but with other members? I would expect an organized speech about some aspects of this communication style that Frank will share with us. The speech can be about your communication style. The speech can be about the impact of your communication style. Frank, your speech can also be humorous, it can be informational, it doesn't matter. Any style goes. The title for Frank's speech, but before that, Frank's speech should take 5 to 7 minutes. I'll also be keen on the time it takes. The title for Frank's speech is The Mind as an Analytical Communicator. The mind of an analytical communicator, Frank Kavuma. Over to you, Frank.
The mind of an analytical communicator. The way you dress says a lot about you. It may look artificial, but I tell you, people always make assumptions.
Hey, Frank. Frank?
Hello?
Timer, please stop
Can't
the
hear
time.
you
We
well.
can't hear Frank, so we'd like him to first.
Do you get me now?
Maybe a little louder.
I hear Frank, by the way.
The mind of an analytical communicator. The way you dress says a lot about you. It may seem artificial, but I tell you, people usually make assumptions based on what you're wearing. For example, if you got me wearing a kanzu, this is a male dress for some African cultures. You will definitely presume that maybe I'm going for a traditional function. Or if you got me dressed in a suit, well-pressed suit, you will presume that maybe I'm going for a very important business meeting. It could be a Toastmasters meeting. Or if you got me putting on my shirts, pants, and sandals, one would definitely point me to Malakai Resort or any other beach nearby. The same applies to the way we communicate. The way we express ourselves in different situations categorize us in one of the main 4 communication styles that are explained by Paul Edwidge in his book titled The Magic of Communication Styles, Understanding Yourself and Those Around You. This book talks about the different systems that identify natural communication tendencies, their strengths, weaknesses, and provides immediate useful strategies to improve your communication or to build your communication muscles. Toastmaster of the evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, this week I took a tour on the Toastmasters International website, wanting to know how I score in the 4 different communication styles. This was after deducting that communication is conveying information and ensuring that the audience or the listeners pick the message from the communication. And knowing that the main challenge in communication is that we all have different communication styles, the communicator and the listener. And I got this assessment from Anthony Robin that if for effective communication, we must realize that all people in the world perceive it differently. And we need to understand and use this guide as our communication with others. This week, Toastmasters International ranked me highly as an analytical communicator. This never came to me as a surprise, based on my academic and professional background. I did a bachelor's of statistics. I went back for a master's of statistics. From when I joined the professional world, I have always done and managed the information and the information analysis processes. This has adapted me to being systematic, being organized, being self-resilient, purposeful, and diplomatic. Naturally, I'm motivated by certainty and rarely give opinions unless asked to. I've also discovered that I'm always cautious with space, and I like an organized, ordered, and functional environment. because I always need to feel secure of my position and the expectation of those around me. I'm often private with my personal information and rarely give my opinions. So people usually characterize as chat-loving, data-driven people who often focus on facts and projections. People that love citing figures and statistics and rely on data for decision making. Analytical communicators care deeply about their outcomes. These may include their services, they may include their relationships, they may include their businesses. So as analytical communicators go through their tasks, the way they pay attention to those small details reflect and correlate directly to the quality of their outcomes or products. So when you ask me, Frank, do you really see yourself in the statements that you are mentioning above? I will reiterate that to a greater extent, I see myself in those statements. But from the time I joined Toastmasters, I improved my communication day by day. So when analytical communicators hold their data onto themselves, they always think that all persons or people around them will have the same high quality or standards. And naturally, they will hold onto those standards and expectations to the high standards, thinking that people within their circles will achieve the same standards. But to their surprise, unfortunately, everyone in this world perceives high standards or quality in a different way. So, as analytical communicators, they will get disappointed and resentment. As I conclude, if you want to become a great and exuberant communicator like Winston Churchill, John, and Martin Luther King Jr., the faster you are at identifying your listeners' communication styles and adapting to them will build your communication muscles as faster as possible. And therefore, I challenge you all Toastmasters guests that go and explore about the different communication styles, how you can easily adopt to other communication styles so that you can improve your style. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Frank. I think we can all agree that by virtue of the fact that we're in this room in Toastmasters, we are in a gym of building muscles for communication, to be effective communicators. Frank, it's so good to know that you feel that your communication has improved ever since you joined Toastmasters. And for those who may not know, yours truly, myself, I am a communications practitioner by profession. I do public relations for a living. And today I've spent the day with fellow communicators at a public relations symposium. And one of the things that someone shared, which I felt resonated with some of what Frank shared, was the fact that, and this is the quote, the language of the people we are communicating with will determine the storyline we build. If we don't take time to understand people, we will tell stories that will not last. And in relation to what Frank just said, I believe that understanding our communication style and also having a bit of knowledge about people we want to communicate to help us to find a middle ground so that we both achieve whatever we want to get from this communication. Me as a communicator, my message reaches the person I intend to communicate to. And the person I intend to communicate to also understands the message I want to tell them. So I believe that for it to be a win-win situation, as individuals, we have to learn how to communicate, but also our communication style. Thank you so much, Frank. Thank you so much for sharing with us your communication style and how we can identify different ways of communicating and becoming better communicators. With that said, we've finished this part of the meeting, and our next portion of the meeting is going to be table topics. But before we go into table topics, I would wish us to take a 2-minute break. Madam Timer, kindly time the 2 minutes.
Noted.
Okay, great. And in this break, I would like to give an opportunity to some of the people on the call who have not had a chance to speak to tell us the muscle they are trying to build this year. I see Lucy Manyara. Lucy, kindly unmute your microphone and tell us the kind of muscle you're trying to build this year. Lucy? Okay, I see Dr. Sunshine. Dr. Sunshine, kindly, I don't know if it's Dr. Sunshine, this is just an assumption, but Sunshine, kindly unmute your microphone and tell us the kind of muscle, stroke, habit you're trying to build this year. Oh, Lucy is also on the phone. Yeah. Lucy, you can start. Lucy? Okay, Sunshine, kindly unmute and tell us the muscle you're trying to build.
Wow. This year, the muscle I'm trying to build, I hope that you can see me.
Yes.
I'm trying to adjust my camera. The muscle I'm trying to build this year is the muscle to do with, you can see that you can't see me. That is okay, because if you can hear my audio, that is fine.
Yeah,
the muscle I'm trying to build this year is the muscle around it's really a general muscle, but I have gone back to asking myself, how can I become a better version of myself? Where do I go from here? What got me here will not take me to the next level. And therefore, I've gone back to my personal coach. And those of you who know coaches in Uganda, his name is Mussolini. And Mussolini and I have had a relationship over the years. And this time around, surprisingly, this afternoon, I was with Mussolini, and the focus of our discussion and the muscle we are working on this season is the muscle to do with communication. Believe it or not.
That is incredible to know. I'm wondering now, as a distinguished Toastmaster, if you add on more communication muscle, I don't know what kind of communicator you're going to be, but we're going to be here watching the space. And it's exciting to have a front row seat in that. Thank you so much, Madam Timer. Now we are going to hear from our table topics mistress, Madam President Elizabeth. Take it away.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Thanks to all the speakers that have delivered exuberant speeches. As shared before, table topics is to flex our muscles. Are we ready to speak in public at any one point in time when called upon? This is the opportunity, and I encourage all of you to take it away. My first question is more of a scenario. We've been talking about habits, about building muscles. And here I am with a not so nice scenario, stealing. Would you rather rob a bank or steal from your parents? Would you rather rob a bank or steal from your parents? Any volunteer? Everyone is very welcome. And as we wait for the volunteer, I can randomly choose anyone to take it away. And with the power vested in me, I choose President Baldwin of Bukote Toastmasters Club. Over to you, Baldwin.
Thank you. Would I rather steal from my parent or steal from a bank? At times, we think theft is an activity that is wrong, that may hurt us. But come to think about it, I know most of you here have felt cheated by the banks. Those 2 shillings, 5 shillings that you can't account for every time you use the ATM. Over time, over a period of 10 years, it can accumulate to something that can get you a plate of food at Sheraton or ice cream. Imagine you took 5 shillings, 2 shillings from your parents' purse or bag over a period of time. I do believe that could have some bad effect to you. It could affect even your livelihood. In that case, I believe I would rob from the bank. 2 shillings, 3 shillings, 4 shillings, 5 shillings. Because I honestly believe that the banks rob for me. So tit for tat is fair game. Anybody that works for a bank here, watch out. I'll be coming for you because tit for tat is fair game. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Baldwin. Indeed, tit for tat is a fair game. But they also say that when you scratch my back, I also scratch yours. So watch out as well. Our next scenario, you've got a new job as a gym instructor. On your first day at work, you realize that 50% of the people you're supposed to guide come with chips and chicken, close the door of the gym and start eating. You are the instructor. What would you do? And that will go to any volunteer? Please feel free to put up your hand. Okay. And that will go to Lucy. Lucy Manyara, I know you're a great Toastmaster from Kenya. Please share with us what you would do. Your first day as a gym instructor, you realize that the habit in the gym is eating chips and chicken. What would you do?
Hello to Table Topics Master. I hope you can hear me. My network has been bad.
Yes, we hear you. Yes.
So as a first day instructor in a gym, and I meet my trainees having chips, I think the first thing we'll do is, enjoy the chips, a plate of chips and chicken and whatever else they wanted to enjoy. And then after that, sit them down and count every calorie. And then come up with, for every 100 grams of chips and chicken eaten, show them how much hard work they need to do to literally sort out or remove whatever they put in. So it is harder to work to put out whatever they've put in than to avoid eating at all in the first place. So the minute you show them what they need to, how much hard work they need to do, not many people like working hard in the gym. They are simply there for just a reason, to lose weight. So if their goal is really to lose weight, and they know they can lose weight by simply reducing the junk that they are eating, just show them by figures. People understand those figures so well, that if I take 100 calories of this, then I'll need to go to that treadmill for 1 hour. Who wants to go to a treadmill for 1 hour just for a plate of chips? Really? Just control your craving and you'll be good to go. So the first thing is show them by numbers what it means. How much time do they need to spend to cut off those calories they're putting in? If they want to put in the chips, then they should be ready to put in the 2 or 3 hours of treadmill. Whichever is easier for them, I'll go by that. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Lucy. I wish you get a job at my gym, because recently our instructor slapped a lady and everyone was shocked because she was snacking on popcorn. Our next question is more of a statement that habits are practices that are repeated over and over again. I'll repeat. Habits are practices that are repeated over and over again. What do you take of that? And I'll pose this to Fiona. Fiona Tumukunde, are you there? Yes. Wow, Fiona, wow. Welcome to Take It Away. Fiona, we can't hear you. Are you there? Yes. Okay. As Fiona prepares, we can hear from the Toastmaster of the evening, Brenda. Have you practiced over and over again? What do you make of that?
Kindly repeat the question.
Habits are practices repeated over and over again. What do you make of that?
They say Rome was not built in one day. So means that every day you have to contribute something to get to the city of Rome as it is right now. And that's how I see habits to be. From people who have successfully built habits and stick by them, you can actually see results and, incredible things that they're able to achieve. However, building habits, as I've established, is one of the hardest things to do. Right now, as I was asking the different role takers, the different habits they're trying to build, there's something like I could connect with each and everything, with some of the things that the different people shared with me. And the challenge to myself is that if, say, Baldwin can avoid the phone distractions, which is also a struggle I have to deal with, I can also do the same. Juliet is determined to be more intentional, to avoid taking things personally. And it's something that I struggle with at the same time. So I'm gonna have to look into myself and also try to build muscles to ensure that I come out on the other end where I'm able to only be accountable for myself and my behaviors. So I believe habits can be built over time. It's a struggle, but it's doable. And you should ask me the same question at the end of the year, so I can tell you some of the habits that I've successfully built after being inspired by different things that people have shared in this meeting. Back to you, Table Topics Mistress.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Our recording is on, so we'll have evidence and we'll follow up with you by the end of the year. Timer, how much time do we have left?
Madam President, we have 45 minutes.
Okay, 45 minutes. Probably you could have one more question and then we wrap this session up. And the question is, we are almost mid-year 2022. There could be some habits that you set out to practice or achieve at the onset of the year. On a scale of 1 to 100, or let's use 1 to 10, how far are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, how far are you with achieving your goals or habits this year? And this will go to a guest. Freda, are you by any chance a guest? Kindly take on the question.
Hello.
Hello, Freda.
Yes, I've had the question.
Yes, please.
If I was to put a scale, if this is April, surely I am at 15%, or that is what? 1.25, 1.5%? In other words, I am too busy with other work and my goals, I have not yet achieved what I want as yet. So I am still below 2%. Or 2 out of 10, because you said out of 10.
Yes.
So I am at 2 out of 10, truthfully speaking.
Okay, thank you very much, Freda, for responding. We encourage, don't give up. Yes, the motto here is not to give up. Let's continue pursuing our goals. Let's maintain our our good habits so that we are better people. And after the year, when we look back, we say, yes, we did it. So let's all be energized to continue our good habits and practice. Yes. I thank all of you for participating in the table topics. I now hand over the microphone to our Toastmaster of the day, Brenda. Thanks everyone for engaging.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. And Frida, I hope you've been inspired by the different muscles that different people on this call are trying to build. And if you think you're falling behind, you can as well tonight just think of the muscle or the habit that you need to build in order to achieve those goals that you've set, so that by the end of the year, you're at least at 8% or even, 10 out of 10. I wish you the best of luck in pursuing that. And now that we're done with table topics, the next portion of the meeting is to hear from our evaluators.
I'll get them. Thank you.
We'll get to the evaluations. Our first evaluator was Shamim. Shamim, kindly share with us the speaker's evaluation.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening, for leading us well thus far. I would like to congratulate Ayebare, Geoffrey, upon delivering his project 4, level 1 project that was titled Know Your Tax Obligations. Geoffrey, I would like to congratulate you for using your personal experiences and some of the things you have experienced to bring out the seriousness of the tax obligation. You took us along the journey of your career path, how you started from being a teacher for mathematics, and getting into accounting, and then going and working in Kenya, and eventually finding your way back to Uganda as a tax consultant. Thank you so much. I thought your storytelling was good, and it's a muscle that could get better, and it's always an absolute pleasure to listen to personal stories. I liked that you paced yourself when you were delivering, and I liked that your speech exhibited evidence of preparation. I could feel like you know what you're talking about, and it reasons well with the research project. It felt like you researched. What do I think you could have done better? I feel like 3 things I would want us to focus on to do better next time. I felt like with the research, you took away the opportunity for us to really understand where this figure and data is coming from. Yes, personal stories is amazing, but it could have been better, a notch higher. If you could maybe give us some research data, and even give us just at least one source telling us, confirming that that information. It could add value to your speech. I could also feel like your introduction could be better. It is not bad to start with saying good evening, Toastmaster and guests, but it takes away from it takes away from your introduction. Yet it is encouraged that introduction begin with a bang, grab us with a hook, and just take us along with you. So I felt like even the audio that was coming up from your side, the feedback from your gadgets, took away from your introduction. So next time, if you could make sure that you are prepared so well, so that you just go right in, it would really do so much better. I also, all in all, I appreciate your speech. Time, how much time did Geoffrey use?
Geoffrey used 8 minutes.
8 minutes. So Geoffrey also realized that your speech was limited to 5 to 7 minutes, and you shot by 1 minute, which next time you could work on really managing your time so well. All in all, I loved your speech. I loved your call to action. I love that you woke us up to knowing our tax obligation. Thank you so much, Geoffrey. And I have sent your evaluation by email through Brenda Asiimwe, your VPE. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shamin, for that evaluation. Now we'll have Frank's evaluation delivered by Baldwin.
Thank you, Brenda, our Toastmaster of the day. Congratulations, Frank, on attempting your project 1 of level 2. The purpose of this project was for you to learn about your communication style and share it with your audience. Particularly, I was keen in listening to understand how this communication style has been an impact to others. What I liked about your speech is you opened with a statement, not actually a statement, but you talked about how first impressions count, and first impressions on how we dress. Dressing appropriately for the occasion basically gives a good impression. You went ahead to tell us about your communication style, which you clearly described as analytical. You're an analytical communicator. What I liked about your project, your presentation, is your confidence. You are very confident, and being very confident in your delivery allows you to look like an expert on the topic that you're presenting. It was very clear to me that you are building a muscle of facing an audience. That is where your confidence comes in. Timer, how much time did Frank take?
Frank took 7 minutes, 42 seconds.
All right. The areas I'd like you to improve, Frank, are two. One are your hand gestures. For every word you are talking, you are using your hands. I believe you can reduce your hand gestures. That makes you look more confident even, and allows you to speak and to use your hands for anything other than stressing a point. The other thing I would like you to work on is your vocal variety. You spoke with a uniform tone the whole entire speech, and that makes it look like you are reading from somewhere because you're not able to vary your voice. There are very good opportunities for you to speak in a low voice, in a high voice. Once you work on these two areas, your hand gestures and your vocal variety, I believe your speech will actually be far better than you presented today. All in all, I commend you for your work, for your presentation, and I would commend that you present your next project incorporating better hand gestures or less hand gestures and a vocal variety. Over to you, Brenda, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Baldwin, for that evaluation. Let's give a hand clap, well, a virtual hand clap to all our speech evaluators tonight before we move on to the next thing. Thank you very much, Shamim and Baldwin. And now we're going to listen to our two role takers. Timothy, kindly give us the grammarian's report.
TMOD, I kindly request to be the second one because I'm still navigating around technical challenges and I would like to display a PowerPoint.
Okay.
My second device has been locked off.
All right, we're going to hear the timer's report, and that's going to be delivered by Juliet. When I asked Juliet the kind of muscle she's trying to build this year, she said that she's trying to build a muscle of resilience. And this means being confident in her abilities, learning from every little experience, taking chances, especially like now that she decided to become a timer, though she was somehow afraid, but she's doing excellently at it. And Juliet no longer takes things personally. And the other muscle she's building is practicing self-care and letting go of things she cannot control. Juliet, kindly share your timing report with us.
Good evening, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It's me again, and I'm going to give a report of how we're doing on time. I'll start with the table topics. And we had Baldwin, we had Lucy Manyara, we had Brenda, and we had Toastmaster Freda. Baldwin took 2 minutes, 14 seconds. He was within time. Though after the 2-minute mark, he went, there was another 14 seconds, but I think that was still within the time. Lucy Manyara took 2 minutes and 6 seconds. She was also within time. Brenda took 1 minute, 57 seconds. She's an expert at this already. Freda took 55 seconds, which was less than the 2-minute mark, but also less than a minute. For the speeches, we had Geoffrey, Ayebare, and Frank Kavuma. The speech time requirement is 5 to 7 seconds. The actual time Geoffrey took was 8 minutes. He was above the time by 30 seconds. Then we had Frank Kavuma, speech time 5 to 7 minutes. The actual time it took was 7 minutes, 42 seconds. Went beyond the time by 12 seconds. Then the evaluators, we had Toastmaster Baldwin Okello and Toastmaster Shamim Nirere. The actual time for evaluators is 2 to 3 minutes. Toastmaster Baldwin Okello took 3 minutes, 53 seconds. Went within the time limit by 23 seconds. And Toastmaster Shamim Nirere took 3 minutes, 28 seconds. Was above the time by 28 seconds. Back to you, the Toastmaster of the day, Miss Brenda.
Thank you so much, Juliet. Let's give a virtual hand clap, more virtual hand claps for Juliet, please. We see more virtual hand claps on the screen. Thank you, thank you. Timothy, are you ready?
Yes, thank you very much. Madam TMOD host, kindly give me co-host rights as I get the PowerPoint ready. Tonight, I have enjoyed my role as the general evaluator at this meeting.
Timothy.
Sorry, not general evaluator, grammarian. All right. I think this muscle got beyond what it's supposed to be, and it wanted to expand into general evaluators' shoes. Host, kindly support. I see Juliet as the host. All right, I will proceed even without the PowerPoint. The word of the day tonight was exuberant, meaning full of energy and excitement. I will go into details in terms of the number of times this word has been used.
Apologies, Timothy, you're now host.
Thank you. All right. And an example we have is tonight's meeting has been well attended by exuberant Toastmasters. We had wonderful phrases tonight at the meeting, things like tax distresses, count every calorie, and one speaker used the word onset. At the onset of the year, those sounded quite well placed in the statements where they were used. There were a couple of other phrases and words that felt misplaced or not quite used well. So that brings us into the big room, which is room for improvement. There's a speaker who said, in your speech, I will expect to hear tips of a good Toastmaster. Rather, I would have loved to hear something like skills or abilities of a good Toastmaster. Another speaker said that they took a tour on Toastmasters website. When it comes to taking a tour, we take a tour around, round, or in. We can go on a tour, but we can't take a tour on. Another speaker said, I'm gonna have to work on something like that, and they went ahead in their speech. Gona is a slang. At Toastmasters, we believe that we're in the business of making ourselves professional speakers. So I would rather say I'm going to work on that, even as it sounded in your speech. The words that have been used quite often in the meeting, words like and now and so. There's a speaker who had and now frequent in their speeches, which sounded irrelevant most of the time. At the beginning of the speech, you would rather start by what exactly you want to say, eliminating those words, so and now. Those phrases, they don't add meaning to your speeches. The other area that I thought required a bit of improvement was pronunciation. We had a speaker who mentioned the word parent and it sounded parent. The proper pronunciation would be parent. Other than that, I have enjoyed the meeting. Good use of the English language. You can see we did have so many areas of improvement. That means that if the Queen attended this meeting, she would have went back to her bed saying that there is a place in the faraway East where people speak this language as if it is their first or 1.5 in between the first and the second language. Thank you. Over to you, Tiamonte.
Thank you so much, grammarian. And I'm in awe of all the exuberant energy that the different role takers, everyone in this meeting has exhibited with the way they took on the different speaking engagements. Some of us doubled on our roles, but we took that really well. So let's all clap for ourselves. And with that, I would like to invite our general evaluator for the evening, Dan Odero, visiting all the way from Nairobi, to give us a general evaluation of our meeting.
Thank you. Let's give a hand for our Toastmaster of the day, building a great muscle as a communicator and bringing such an exuberant meeting today. When I come to Kampala executives, I always have some exuberance in my heart because I enjoy the meeting thoroughly with everybody playing their part very well. Now, this meeting began very nicely. I just, some of the things done well. We had, the role takers came in well. One thing I'd just like to probably pay attention to, the meetings at Toastmasters are begun by a presiding officer or the president. So normally the presiding officer starts the meeting off. In this case, our secretaries did very well and explained the rules, but normally the meeting is started off and initiated by a presiding officer who then explains what Toastmasters is about and then gives the sergeant at arms a portion to now explain the etiquette, meeting etiquette and that part. But it's always good to have a presiding officer to welcome the guests, ask them to say something and be the person, the host of the meeting, because you have charge of the meeting as the president or the presiding officer of the meeting. All in all, but well done. We had great speeches. Thank you for the two speakers there, very informative. We had information about tax laws, which affects you in Uganda, but all over the world. Taxes are something that we have to think about. So well done on the speeches. Some point of probably I'd like to maybe something that we'd work on to make them even better. It would be nice to come into the meetings earlier, test your audio, test the, I saw Geoffrey testing, he's testing the, his speaking position, but also test the audio so that we have, in fact, 15 to 20 minutes before, just test those things so that we start well. Toastmasters gives us an opportunity to practice. It's a kitchen. It's a stage where we are practicing to go out and then put our skills out in the real world. So here we can do we can test and do things, but it's also good to come in a bit earlier, do a bit of testing before we give our speeches. Table topics done by Madam President, very nicely done, nice questions. Try to give everybody, ask them, yes, are there volunteers? And if they are not, then give somebody a chance to speak for topics. But also suggest as much as possible, get the people who are not speaking so much to speak. We call in the Toastmasters today, which is okay. She's already an exuberant speaker and we like engaging and hearing her speak. She thrills us, but let's give a chance to also other people who are there as much as possible and then give them that. And maybe to remind people, table topics is between 1 and 2 minutes. Just remind people again once in a while. It's always good to just give us our minds going. And then we had the small breaks are also good. So we get our back breaks there. You can hear from our speakers, done very well by the Toastmasters of the day. Evaluations, nicely evaluations done, what you can work on, what someone enjoyed. In fact, Shamin did a fantastic one, what she liked about the presentation, to encourage people to come back and speak. And then the areas, what can you work on? Always, it is an opportunity to build on our skills, building the muscles. This is a gym for building in communication and in leadership, to listen, because we're also listening out. The roles are important, the speakers, table topics masters are important, but also the other roles which are more hidden, silent mode, where we're listening, the grammarian listening, the timer watching and giving us back feedback are important parts of the meeting. So these are important parts of our training. So in Toastmasters, all the parts are important. The speaking parts, yes, the role we take, but also to get back, how do we give the feedback? How we listen on. Kampala Executive is doing very well. In fact, before I came on to Kampala, we've been having a discussion. I'm coming in with my hat of club extension chair also. So I was looking at our dashboard. You're almost very close. You're very close to becoming distinguished club. You have 3 points. You only need 2 points, which I think you can get if you just put in Madam VPE. If you put in just the education things there, you are there at distinguished. So let's get there, and maybe 5 members. We just take 5 more members, and it's a very. Let's finish strong. Kampala Executive is an executive club. Let us be a distinguished club as well. So a few things we're just doing there, but well done with the meeting, run nicely. Also remember the timings. When you say 6:30, 6:29, let's try to start on time, start 12, even if you come on board. I see a good number of people came on board here. We had a diverse. Congratulations, Julie, for the first time. She's doing a first-time role in Toastmasters, and she's taking up a role. Well done, Julia. The way we learn Toastmasters is not much by reading things, it's by doing. The more you do, the better you get. You build a muscle by using it. If you don't use it, you lose it. So if you're a Toastmaster, you don't come for practice, you'll then go back to square one, but you practice. And there are many opportunities to practice as a Toastmaster. Look out for other meetings. I know tomorrow I'll also be in Wisconsin. I also belong to a club in Wisconsin, which is Eclectic Images Club. We're meeting in the evening, 6:30. In the evening, we meet 6:30 to about 8:30 in Wisconsin. You can go to other meetings and also practice. And if the people need some education goals to meet, they can go to other clubs, go there, look out for them, encourage them, Brenda, to get there, to get education roles that you can put on, that you can get into this Swedish program. So it's good to have that part. But all in all, a fantastic meeting. I always enjoy coming to Kampala. I was there physically. I long for the day I can come back and enjoy it. I know you do a great job, Brenda, by showing us parts of all Uganda. We long to come there and enjoy also what we see. But well done with it. Well done with the meeting. Thank you, Madam President, for having me here. Thank you, Brenda, for giving me the role and giving some feedback. Thank you to all our role takers. A great job. Let's keep it up and let's go for distinguished. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, for that stellar evaluation. And for someone who was this was basically an impromptu general evaluation, but when you've built the muscle of communications and with your experience as a Toastmaster, it just goes to show that when your muscles are strong and they are visible, whatever situation you're thrown in, you'll show up and you'll make the most of it. So we want to appreciate for saying yes to being a general evaluator and also reminding us of some of the gaps we're still having. And I think tomorrow or Monday, we're going to have a meeting as EXCO and we strategize and see how to get those 3 DCP points so that we can get to the level of distinguished status. So Madam President, I hope you've also noted that, and fellow executive executive members here. Geoffrey is on the call, Charity, Timothy, Frank. We have an assignment and this is to be delivered before end of June. And I believe in our abilities that we can do it. So I just want to thank everyone. And I was so excited to hear how everyone is flexing their muscles, the muscles they are building. I believe we're all on the right path. So if we keep going to the gym and actually working out those muscles, we'll definitely achieve the different things that we want to achieve. Thank you so much for being an exuberant audience. And with those remarks, I want to hand over back to the president. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Brenda, for the exuberant session that you've led this evening. Members, please join me in giving Brenda a round of applause by clapping, by yelling a bit. Yes, Brenda, we celebrate you. Thank you very much. Let me give members a tip. If you want to shine, or if you want to be seen as someone who is doing great things, get in touch with Brenda. Have Brenda in your circles, and that will be sorted. Thank you so much, Brenda. I take this opportunity to thank all of you that have found time to engage with us and participate in the meeting on a Friday evening when others are going elsewhere, winding up the week. You choose to come and improve yourself as we build our speaking muscles. I cannot thank you enough. I congratulate the speakers, Geoffrey, Ayebare, and Frank Kavuma. Yes, well done. We are getting those points. And like Brenda has said, and like our GE Dan has advised, yes, we have the potential and we'll try so hard to scoop those DCP goals. We need them. We need to be better at what we do. Back to club business. I'll invite our EXCO members. We have Geoffrey here, membership. We have Brenda, VPE, Frank Kavuma, SAA, all. In case there is any announcement you may have from your dockets, please feel free to share. I'll start with Brenda.
For me, it's just that our next meeting is on 10th May.
Okay.
So please save the date.
Okay, so Chrissy, thank you so much. Geoffrey, membership, anything from your desk? Okay, as we wait for Geoffrey, we can hear from Frank Kavuma, our dear secretary.
There is nothing surely coming from my desk.
All right. Okay, thank you, Frank. Charity, anything you may have?
Nothing for now.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Charity. Geoffrey, I see you've unmuted. Would you like to say something?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam President. I'd like, first of all, to thank Juliet, our timer. She's done it for the first time, and as a new member, we are really exhilarated. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Geoffrey. I add my voice onto yours to congratulate Toastmaster Juliet for attending her first meeting and taking on a role as a timer. That's actually the definition of confidence, of courage. And Juliet, your days with Toastmasters are much, much brighter. Okay, I'll wear another hat for the treasurer. to remind all of us that haven't renewed our membership. As you may know, we had up to end of March, and then there was an extension for us to access pathways till April. Please renew our membership so that we continue accessing these important programs. And as all of you may know, there is, I think, an overhaul of programming and systems at Toastmasters International, whereby we are not able to register any new members, I think this week and sometime next week, or register or make payments till the 9th of May. In case you would like to pay this week, please bear with us, but please keep the money, do not use it for other things. Let's be patient as we wait for the time to be able to pay or renew or register any new members. Another announcement to notify you, I think this had been communicated during our previous get together and through the WhatsApp groups, the opportunity to join the leadership team at our club. Come 1st July, all posts will be vacant from the president to the SAA. Please express interest, and we encourage all of you to sign up and be part of the leadership team. And I'm sure you'll take this club to greater heights. That is all from the president this evening. I now take an opportunity to thank everyone that has found time to be with us. And in a special way, I thank Dr. Sunshine, Dr. Christine Nabiro, who is also the immediate past Division F Director. Dr. Christine, please unmute and say hello to us. We are privileged to have you on the call this evening. You're muted, Dr. Christine.
Always a pleasure coming in and enjoying your meetings. I loved the exuberance that was on display by everybody that was a role taker. I loved that the guests came in and took the show, and that the grammarian was something else. It was a new approach, and well done, well done. Everybody took to the stage with such exuberance. And at the end of it all, I definitely just feel that this was the place to be, and an evening well spent. Well done, Kampala's executives, and keep on keeping on.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sunshine. We feel strong to see you here, and we look forward to visiting again, and also us inviting other members and us visiting a club. We have 9 minutes to the ideal end time of our meeting, and encourage most of all of us to share experiences of how this meeting has gone. GE Dan, I see you have a hand up. Would you like to say something?
Yes, I'd just like to give a reminder of the TCON coming up. We have, please diarize the TCON coming up. East Africa TCON 27th to 29th online. It's an online meeting, but a meeting that we should all try and be there and invite guests to come on too. So TCON 29, TCON 2020, this year is 27th of May to 29th of May. Online, where we have speeches, we have the district competition contests, a great one to come. And then there's also gala dinners being planned. There's a plan for some gala dinners. I'm sure there's one in Nairobi. I'm sure in Kampala there's one. So look out for that as we celebrate this year. So the TCON and the gala dinners coming around, please look out for that. Plan for them. The TCON is 27th to 29th of May. Thank you, and back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Dan. That is very important and relevant for all of us. Members, please save the date. I'll invite, who hasn't, oh, some of our guests have left. I'll invite Juliet. Juliet, our timer this evening. Today has been your first meeting as a Toastmaster, and in the same meeting, you've taken a role. How do you feel? Please share with us.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. When I started, I was a bit nervous, not a bit, very nervous. I'm sure I've called like 10 Toastmasters today before the evening, just to be clear about my role and what is expected of me. But I'm very glad I found very warm people, understanding, and your words of encouragement kept me going. They helped me build muscle into the role. And I'm looking forward to the next meeting to take another different role until I master all the roles. And come July, I should be applying for that leadership post. So thank you all for the positive responses and for this very nice experience. I feel like I'm standing on the shoulder of giants already. Thank you, Madam President.
Oh, yes, that is very good, and you're very welcome. Recently, we had a get together, which unfortunately you missed because you had a class. And in the speech of our division director, he said that if you're already a good speaker, Toastmasters will enable you to become a remarkable speaker. And from what I hear, Juliet, you're already a good speaker, but Toastmasters will make you better. Welcome. Toastmaster Geoffrey, if I am not mistaken, you have completed level 1 today. How do you feel about it?
Thank you, Madam Madam President. I am excited to have finished my level 1. This is a feat. At some point, I was not seeing it in the near future. But now that I am done with it, I'm very happy. I am excited to start on my next level, which I know will be even more exciting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Geoffrey, and congratulations. We encourage you to take on level 2 as soon as possible. Please book a speaking slot with the VPE so that on 10th May, you're able to start on level 2. Going to our Area 17 Director, Timothy, please share with us impressions from the meeting. How have you found it? Over to you, Timothy. We have about 4 minutes to the close of our meeting.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Just to encourage people that are taking on roles for the first time, I think this has been my second time to be grammarian, given the very many years I've spent at Toastmasters. So yeah, Juliet, we are all nervous when it comes to taking on roles. Personally, I get nerves every time I slide my camera window to show my face before people. And besides that, I would like to congratulate Kampala Executive Toastmasters Club for conducting this meeting. Sometimes meetings that are prepared towards the last minute tend to require a lot of input, and I would like to thank the executive committee for working together. There was a great deal of teamwork that was exhibited in preparing for this meeting. I'd also like to appreciate the role takers that took on the roles at the last minute. Thank you for saving the day, and we shall always be looking forward to working with you, even at your home clubs. Feel free to invite everyone that you have seen today on the call. Now, this is me signing up roles on behalf of other people. Thank you very much. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Director. We are always honored to have you as part of the Kampala executives. President Baldwin, in less than a minute, please share with us your impressions of the meeting.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me. I'm in a noisy place. However, I've enjoyed the meeting. We are few, and being few sometimes makes it intimate because you're able to listen, you're able to track and follow through without getting overwhelmed by meetings that have so many people. The SAA is able to, has less work to do. So I enjoyed the meeting simply because it was very intimate. I would also, something I observed before the meeting was the agenda. I like the format that you shared of the agenda. It is well designed. It is pretty. It looks good, very professional, and it's something that I would ask that I borrow from you, copy and paste to my side. Please go ahead with such innovations. Small changes improve the experience of members and guests much, much better. So I really thank you and commend your executive committee for such an innovation. It's the best agenda format across the board that I've seen. Besides that, thank you so much. I would like to thank the general evaluator, Dan, for really jumping in at the last second. That is what Toastmasters is all about, being able to stand and take on an opportunity when given the chance. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, President Baldwin. I told you, if you want good things, just have Brenda in your circles. And thank you for commending us for the beautiful agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 30 minutes past 8 p.m. and I'd like to adjourn the meeting the 10th of May, 2022. Have a blessed evening.
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye then. Thank you.